India today is at the front lines of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine in eastern Ukraine. We are in the Donbas region. This is Donetsk, and this is a checkpoint of the Ukrainian army. This perhaps is one of the last checkpoints, because beyond this are barricades that have been set up, and beyond those barricades is the deployment of the Russian army. When we talk about Donetsk and Luhansk, Russia's President Vladimir Putin declared that they are independent republics, but 70% of the territory is still with Ukraine, and the Ukrainian army has been deployed here very extensively to ensure that they're able to protect this territory. So military hardware, tanks, armored personnel carriers, communication equipment have all been deployed here. A lot of satellite imagery shows the deployment and movement of the Russian forces on the other side, and that, according to information that's come down, has increased quite a bit. So effective countermeasures are being taken by the Ukrainian army. It took us about 14 hours from the capital Kiev to get to Mariupol, and then another 100 kilometers from Mariupol to get to this area where active conflict is taking place in the Donbas region. Both Russia and Ukraine claim control of 100% of Donetsk and Luhansk, but Ukraine says this is our territory. This, incidentally, is the industrial belt and coal production, steel production. That's huge in this belt, and that is why, to protect their natural resources, to protect their assets, they have massive weapons that have been deployed. And every vehicle that comes in, if you check in this area, because the Ukrainian army says this is our territory, the people are ours, but even those people who are on the other side in Russian controlled area, when they come, their identity cards are checked, their documents are checked, and only then they're permitted to cross. Of course, military vehicles keep coming in this area, and that shows how tense the situation is. Ceasefire violations that were restricted to about 300 a day have now escalated to over 3,000 a day, and the caliber of weapons from small arms now almost to medium artillery being used. With cameraman Pawan Kumar at the Ukrainian army checkpoint in Donetsk, in Donbas region of eastern Ukraine, Gaurav Sawant for India Today. With me, Rajesh Pawar, analyzing situation on ground, an analyst on NATO operations and Ukrainian army and Russian army conflict. Rajesh, how tense is the situation where we are?
See, Gaurav, we have been going around this area in Donbas since morning, and you have seen the checkpoints every 3 to 4 kilometers. In this area where we are standing right now, there's almost a platoon of Ukrainian soldiers deployed here, and this place is just 3 kilometers from the Russian held territory. This is a village of Safia just behind us, which was shelled last night. So the situation here is currently a little tense, and what's going to happen tonight, we will see. We are here tonight, and we are bang on the front line now.
This is the front line of the conflict. This is where the conflict is taking place between Russia and Ukraine in that Donbas region. And artillery shelling, we are told, ceasefire violations have escalated. Is there an effective response? What about civilians in these areas, civilians in these villages?
See, we just spoke to the commander here, commander of this platoon which is deployed here, and he said the village just behind us is Safia, which was shelled last night. Not much of shelling in this area, but 3 kilometers from here, the Russian army is deployed, and this is the area which is likely to witness a fierce fighting in case Russia plans to invade further into Ukraine, because Mariupol, the nearest town here, is a part of Donetsk province.
It indeed is. Reporting from Tinderbox, Mariupol, Donetsk region, the Donbas region where conflict is taking place, with cameraman Pawan Kumar, Gaurav Sawant in Ukraine for India Today.
Okay, Gaurav Sawant joins me live from Donetsk, which is the rebel zone. First Indian journalist, only Indian journalist in the area. This is, can be classified as the combat zone, because here is where, some fighting has already happened close to the border with Russia. This is the place that the Russian parliament has cleared military action in as well. There have been reports of Ukrainian, soldiers losing their lives in this area as well. Gaurav, what is the situation on the ground? You've been reporting from across urban Ukraine. You're now in the conflict zone.
Shiv, the conflict zone is extremely tense at this point of time, and several villages, village after village after village, they are being evacuated. There has been shelling and people are moving to Mariupol, the nearest town, and some, of course, are moving to Kiev. Now, just today, Shiv, the president of Ukraine, he's signed an order, mandatory conscription. So every able-bodied man and woman, every youth will be made to join the army for a period of 1 year. And it is being said Ukraine is already at war. It requires a national effort. Lights go out in this region. Most of the houses have been evacuated. There are pockmarks and shell marks almost across. People have moved to safer territory, or those who wanted to go across to the Russian-held territory, they've moved across. That checkpoint from where we were reporting, the Russian forces are barely 3 kilometers from that territory, and now that has been declared by Russian President Vladimir Putin as part of the Republic of Donetsk. Next to that is the Republic of Luhansk. Now, in this entire area, the Donbas region, as we mentioned in that report, Shiv, this is a resource-rich region. A lot of workers from here and outside, they even work here. They're all either being evacuated or being made to join the armed forces to fight for that effort. How soon will that actual kinetic operations start? We still do not know, but RT rounds, we are told, are being fired repeatedly, at least in some part, either here or on the other side, regularly.
Gaurav Sawant continues to be with me. We're going to take a very short break, but Gaurav will stay with me because he's going to do something that no Indian channel has done so far from the combat zone. He's going live. He's going to be anchoring from there. Shells have been flying. Soldiers have lost their lives. Gaurav Sawant, the only Indian journalist in the combat zone, will be broadcasting and anchoring right after this.